'Cause there's this deadline at night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike.
In April 1982, an invasion by Argentina provoked one of the most ambitious military undertakings in British history. But now, as two-para marched into the capital, it was back in British hands. And riding on the crest of this success was Margaret Thatcher.
Who are you?
Tylenol had been inexplicably spiked with poison.
3 people are dead, and another is in critical condition tonight.
One of the victims took the pills he bought to his home.
His brother and sister-in-law were so upset by his death that they went back to the house and took some Tylenol from the same bottle.
Good afternoon. Seldom have Shakespeare's immortal words, "All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players," seem more appropriate than today at the funeral service for Princess Grace of Monaco.
Hello, Cleveland. I'm Ted Henry, and the strike is on. The National Football League has called a strike that will begin tomorrow.
For the first time in the 63-year history of the NFL, a strike will stop play.
We made a counter proposal. We have come off our percentage of the gross. So we feel that we have taken a big step, but there's been no action on their part.
Mr. Spicoli has been kind enough to bring us a snack. Be my guest. Help yourselves. Get a good one.
Hi folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and welcome to my 20 from 1982 series. Hope you like the new 1982 open. Halfway through this series I'll come up with another one. This is game number 20 in my series, and this game was created by Konami and licensed to Centuri in the US. I guess it also had like maybe a Sega or Atari license in the US, but this is called Time Pilot. And this is kind of a fun game. It's an what's the term? Environmental shooter, or a open-ended shooter, where you can scroll around, and the screen will scroll in whichever direction you move, and you can constantly move in one direction. But basically, the screen is centered on the action where you're at. So you can just fly around in the sky in your plane, and you will enter various time zones throughout US history, and there will be tons of enemy aircraft, and you need to shoot enough so that the boss will appear, and each aircraft that you shoot takes off a little chunk of the plane icons in the bottom left. There's about 7 enemy aircraft to shoot for each one, and once you've destroyed enough, after a while, the boss will make an appearance. And once you destroy the boss, and there is the boss, then you have beaten that level. And there are bonus points you can get for destroying enough enemies of a certain formation, and you'll hear a sound effect when that formation appears. There will also be a bonus for collecting parachuting pilots. You'll see pilots falling from the sky with parachutes, and there's one, and you can collect them for 1,000 points. But that's just for the first one. After that, it's an additional 1,000 points, and so on. There'll be 2,000 for the next, and 3,000, and 4,000, or whatever. That is the best way to get points in this game. The default extra lives are at 10,000 and then every 50,000 after that. And that can be adjustable by the dip switches. And there's the second stage's boss. If you don't get the boss the first time, it'll come back onto the screen again. And any damage you caused it the first time, it'll still have that damage on it, which is nice. And sometimes there will be mini bosses that'll appear, and they take fewer shots to kill. They won't add any more to the amount of hits or amount of damage to each plane icon on the bottom left. It won't take off any more than like a regular small enemy. We'll get started. There's various time periods. There's kind of World War I era time period here, and then there's also World War II. There's like the 70s. There's 1982, which was of course when this game was made, and then there's one in the future. And I never beat the final stage, stage 5. I just got my first extra life at 10,000. I would not recommend flying in one direction for very long at all, because enemies will tend to shoot you or bomb you. Now, if you're going to take out a formation of... if you're going to take out a formation of enemies to get a bonus, that bonus will be null and void if you take too long. All those enemies that explode after you defeat the boss, you don't get points for them unless they were part of a full formation. And then you will get the formation bonus. But other than that, you don't get points for them. And there was a mini-boss there. The mini-boss takes less shots to destroy than the boss. I seldom got the bonus for taking out the formation, just because they appeared on screen and went off screen too quickly, or I took too long to destroy them. It's much easier to get a bonus for the parachutes. And don't risk your neck trying to collect those parachutists. If there's a bullet or a missile or something in your way, don't go for it. But it is a good source of points to collect those parachutes over and over again. And that takes care of that second boss. This was kind of a cool game for its time. Now we're at 1970. And we will see helicopters. And those missiles are homing missiles. You can scroll or move around so that they go off screen. They will not return. But they will try to follow you. You can shoot them for 100 points. The scoring is 100 per regular enemy, 100 per missile, 100 per hit on a mini-boss, 200 per hit on a boss, and 3,000 per boss destroyed. Oops. You get no points for each exploded enemy unless it's part of or unless you complete the formation. Then there's 2,000 for a formation of enemies, and 1,000 for a parachutist, and then 1,000 extra for each additional parachutist after that. So yeah, that's the best way to score in this game. I generally had a bad habit of dying just before I could face a boss on this playthrough. But this is 1982 here, and then the final stage takes place somewhere in 2000. There was a sequel to this, Time Pilot 84, and I kind of liked it, but it was noisy, very noisy. I could hear it reverberate throughout the arcade from far away. And that was created in 1982. before. But I kind of enjoyed this one. Oops. I'm trying to remember where I first saw this game. I think it was at a grocery store. Yeah, I think that's right. I think it was, might have been Beaverton Fred Meyer department store. It's still around. In fact, it's less than a mile from where I live currently. But I believe that's where I first saw this. I played a little bit. It's pretty fun. Whoops, crap. There weren't very many home ports of this game. There was one for the ColecoVision, which I didn't think was all that fantastic. There we go. I can't tell you exactly how many shots you need to hit that boss. But yeah, now we're in the future here. I liked how all the predictions of what the future would look like, 40 or more years ago in the 2000s. We're all piloting spaceships and all sorts of stupid things. But now that we've got virtual chat or Zoom or FaceTime or whatever, that's kind of something that we thought might be possible as a futuristic thing back then, and that has come true. Oh, well, that's my game of Time Pilot. Kind of fun game. I enjoyed this back in the day, but this was created by Konami and almost always seen licensed to Centuri, and I guess it had limited license to Atari, maybe Sega. I can't remember for sure, but I only saw the Centuri cabinets. That's Time Pilot game number 20, and hope you enjoyed my opening, my thing of 1982, my 1982 time capsule. I never really got to see all of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. From what I saw, I enjoyed it. I'm going to have to watch the whole thing sometime. I was a little too young back in the day to be able to watch that. I was only 11. But it's definitely one of the most heralded teen comedies of the 80s, and for good reason. It's a very good movie. What's his name? Ray Walston, who played the teacher in it, was exceptional. But that's Time Pilot, game number 20 in my 20 from 1982 series. And here is the boss from the last stage. I put on invincibility cheat and was able to slam into him without having to shoot him a bunch of times, but it's the same amount of shots for every boss that'll take him down. That was Time Pilot, game number 20 in my 1982 series. Hope you enjoyed. This was created by Konami and licensed to Centuri, and I guess maybe Atari or Sega. But that's Time Pilot. I thank you for watching. Hope you continue to have a great summer. Hope the weather's a little cooler for you now. Hope you all stay safe and practice social distancing and all that stuff. Take it easy, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.